Listen, there's something happening across the country that's affecting a lot of people, and it's that a lot of people can't find a job.
There just isn't that many jobs out there, it seems. Like, and the jobs that are out there are all like contracts, like 12-month contracts, things like that. Even then, I didn't get the job.
If you have gotten a job in this job market, can you please tell me what you did in the comments? Because I'm going insane. I just went through 2 months, 6 rounds of interviews with a company, made it to the very end. I was so sure I was going to get it, and I just got rejected. Nothing else has panned out. I've interviewed with the company I used to work at, other companies, all types of roles. I have an engineering degree. I was working at a really good company before this, and now I'm hitting 9 months of unemployment and I'm going insane. I feel silly making a TikTok about this, but I don't know what else to do. I feel like I've tried everything. I was on LinkedIn messaging people. I've used my connections. I don't know what else to do.
Check this out. One Uber driver recently went viral saying that despite having a law degree, that he still needed to drive to make ends meet.
It will get better, but this moment when I'm not living what I'm supposed to be doing, it's probably one of the hardest things that anybody would ever have to go through.
This is hilarious. The job market in the US is so terrible. This is how terrible it is. Massive layoffs are happening everywhere, even in big companies. You saw what happened at Google and many other companies, and there is a lot of job scarcity. Once you lose your job, it's going to be hard for you to find another job.
Everyone's talking about it. The US job market feels broken right now. And honestly, there's some truth to that. Layoffs are still rolling out. Roles are being backfilled quietly, if at all. Hiring timelines dragging out for months, and candidates are left in limbo. Even high performers are struggling to get traction. And as someone who's been in the search industry for over 25 years, I've seen recessions, hiring freezes, and chaotic markets. It's not just a hiring slowdown. It's a confidence crisis. People are exhausted, discouraged, and in many cases feel invisible. There are so many talented and qualified people on the market right now who are still struggling to get responses. And that kind of silence can start to mess with your mindset. So let me say this clearly. You are not the problem. The market is in flux. So what can you do right now? Number one, focus on what you can control: your visibility, your narrative, and your network. Number two, stop waiting. Start positioning. The next hiring wave is coming. Trust me. And number three, don't let rejection shake your identity. It's not a reflection of your worth. I'm Deepali Vyas, your elite recruiter. I see the realities behind the headlines, and I'm here to help you stay resilient, relevant, and ready. Follow me for more career strategies that meets the moment.
Bro, this job market sucks. Not a single person has walked up to me cold on the streets and offered me $1 billion a year to do nothing.
In my opinion, the best way to get a job right now is to go outside of Indeed and LinkedIn. This is how I got my job. That's fully remote and everything that I've ever wanted, even though it did take 5 months. But I got my job the first month. I veered away from Indeed and LinkedIn and started using something different. There are plenty of websites. This is the one that I used to get the job that I have now. Super easy and efficient, and it uses AI, which I thought was super sick, and it was super helpful because on the days that I didn't feel like sitting in front of a computer the entire time, the AI would apply to jobs for me, which saved me so much time and was still sending an application. So it was like a win-win. And yeah, that's just what I recommend as someone who's looking for a job for 5 months and looking in all the wrong places. So just here to help.
There are more job seekers than there are open jobs. Recent grads are entering into a uniquely challenging job market, and many are feeling unsure about where they fit. And there's some recent data that shows what this uncertainty is really showing up as. 42% of new grads are hesitant to apply for jobs, and of course that number is increasing, with 58% among Gen Z. And we also see that uncertainty reflected in how currently employed job seekers are feeling. We see that more than half are feeling stuck in their current career, and 79% wish that they knew what jobs match their skills. There are certain industries and certain sectors of the job market that are still doing really well and seeing growth. Areas like construction, private education, healthcare. But of course, there are the ones that have recently been experiencing layoffs and really felt the impact of AI. So those are going to be roles like tech. For anybody that's entering the job market now, really the best strategy is adaptability, regardless of what stage in the career you're in. I would always recommend that you use AI tools to your advantage, highlight the results that you've delivered in your application materials, and really focus on skills that AI cannot replace.
I just saw a job position for an assistant director position and they said that a requirement is that you have a bachelor's degree, and they would prefer that you have a master's degree. And the pay for this position was $50,000. You're telling me I have to have a 4-year college degree and you prefer that I have a master's and you're only going to pay $50,000? We are so cooked.
Why you shouldn't accept a job offer immediately when a company sends you the offer. Hi everyone, I'm Colleen. I am a career coach, and we're going to talk today about negotiating your job offer. So I had 2 clients this week get job offers, and they both negotiated. So let me tell you what each one negotiated for. Client number 1 was offered a job. They live in Massachusetts, and they were going to have to be moving clear across the country for this new position. And the new company gave her a really nice package, gave her a salary that was almost at the top of the hiring range that they posted. So she was happy with that. They laid out a bonus structure that was really good. The time off was good. All those things were good. The only thing that felt a little off was they were offering $5,000 for moving expenses. We went online and got quotes from 2 different moving companies of what that would cost. We looked at what it would cost to move her car and kind of all the general moving expenses, and realized it was going to cost between $12,000 and $16,000 to move. So she went back and said, hey, $5,000 isn't going to be enough. Can I get $15,000? Or if you prefer, you can actually pay for all the moving expenses directly and not pay me for them. The company came back and they agreed to a $12,000. So that was $7,000 she would have left on the table. The other person is somebody who just got a job offer in New York City. They negotiated for $15,000 more in base salary. And they also wanted added to the job offer exactly what the hybrid structure was going to be. Because at one point in the interview, they talked about it being 2 days a week in the office. And at another point in the interview, they talked about it being 1 month a day in the office. And they definitely wanted this to be 1 month and not 2 days a week.
Remember last year when lots of you were saying how hard it was to find a job? Well, you were right again. Today we got new numbers that prove the jobs market in this country was not as strong as we all thought. But there may be an upside, which I'm going to tell you about in a second. So first, today, the Bureau of Labor Statistics revised the jobs numbers down.
If you've got a job right now, I highly recommend you don't leave that job. Don't be quitting your job before you find another one. Trust me, I don't care how miserable you are at your job. I don't care how much it sucks, even if you're underpaid. I don't care if you hate your boss, your coworkers, whatever it is. I don't care. Okay? Those of you that have been looking for a job for the last year or 2, you know what I'm talking about. Don't put yourself in that situation if you're not in that situation. All right? Job market right now is incredibly dog shit. All right? So if you're going to leave your job, make sure you've got something else lined up that's already functioning and paying. This isn't the time to quit to start your startup. This isn't the time to quit to start your stupid coffee shop or your bakery or whatever it is you want to, whatever stupid dream you want to chase because some online internet guru told you, go ahead, go for your dreams, be happy. No, this isn't the time to read The Secret and close your eyes and wish for manifestation and all that bullshit. No. Okay? Don't quit your job unless you have something lined up that's actually going to replace your current income consistently. Because otherwise, you're really putting yourself in a really risky situation.
Labor market. The word of the day is tight. Employers are hoarding workers like it's toilet paper in 2020. That means that wages are sticky, and so is inflation. Because the job market is a little bit hinky right now, I definitely suggest that before you make any moves, make sure you have a contract in hand from the new job before leaving the old one. There are people looking for jobs, but they're being ghosted by those employers. They might be listing them, but they have no intent to hire.
Can somebody tell me what is going on with the job market? Because I'm at a point of crashing out. It makes no type of sense. I've applied to like over 400 jobs, and this is no exaggeration, within the last 4 months. I've managed to have at least 5 interviews, and then they responded with, oh, we moved on with a candidate with more experience. How would I get the experience if y'all don't hire me? And then on top of that, AI is killing me right now, y'all. Level entry jobs are being given to AI. So it's like I'm sitting here with a master's degree. I'm starting my PhD in literally 4 months. What's the point of us going to school if AI is taking over? It don't make no type of sense. I'll be so upset. I want to crash out. The economy is bad. How the hell do y'all think people pay rent in this economy with no jobs? And now I see why people really be doing what they do. The job market is disgusting. It's insane.
It is very hard to get a job right now, and as somebody who's been in recruiting for 6 years, I'm going to tell you guys what has changed, what's going on, give you all the tea, because it's hard, and maybe this can get you a job. I was laid off 3 times last year. It took me 7 months to find a job. I was not the only person in recruiting or HR that was laid off. If you have a company that has 300 jobs listed, right, you might only have 5 recruiters for all 300 of those roles. It used to be like 12, 15 recruiters to one company, one department in a company, so it takes a long time to go through resumes. Every single job I have ever worked at, we have looked through every single resume. I have never used AI and I've never used an automated system. So if you have 300 roles posted, you have 2,000 people applying to each role. How long do you think that takes? Of those thousands of people that apply, maybe more than half of them apply to roles that they're not qualified for. It used to be 6 years ago, you could apply for roles you weren't qualified for and you might get hired. It happened to me. But now companies are not willing to spend the money or the time to train people, and it really fucking sucks. Number 2, you do not need to pay somebody to do your resume for you. You can download Star Resume or go to starresume.com. It's like a free app, or you can do it on your computer. Use that resume template. I have used it for years. It's very simple because recruiters only spend about 30 seconds looking at somebody's resume. Number 3, I cannot stress enough how a temp agency can help you get a job. The amount of roles that are converted from temp to permanent in these companies is insane. And not only temp roles, but sometimes we outsource to these agencies and say, hey, we don't have a candidate that's great. Do you guys have anybody? And they're like, yeah. And then that person gets hired on. Look at companies like Randstand, Robert Half. There are so many more. Fuck Indeed, fuck ZipRecruiter. Let them go. Last thing, to be very honest, I am making less than I have ever made in a recruiting position, ever, because the job market is ass. Companies don't want to spend money. It is what it is. I still have to do my little things on the side to make money. It sucks, but it is what it is. And I wish things would change. I hope they change, but it's really bad right now. And hopefully these things can help somebody get a job.
Job market update, September 22nd, about 9 days away from Q4. Over the last 4 years or so, I've helped people with job stacking land a second role, land a third role. And as of recent, over the last 6 or 7 months, it's been helping people just land any role. So, I mean, whether they've been laid off or unemployed for quite some time, they're looking for just any source of income. And overall, I mean, I speak with recruiters every day. I have a pretty good pulse on the job market. I know what people are looking for. And I think the biggest surprise is how much AI is actually replacing some of these positions in industries that people did not predict. For example, like software engineers, 10 years ago, they're getting paid $300K a year to create a code for a company. But now you can outsource that to AI. Obviously, those are the first people to go, especially for that much pay. The company is going to target them to get rid of them immediately. AI is now replacing them. The demand is very low, unfortunately, for software engineers. For people that are graduating college, with how high the unemployment is and how difficult it is to land a job, I'm getting into sales. This is the only industry that I've seen where the demand is still high. There's no hiccups in the recruiting process, and there's still the highest paying position. I feel like it's almost the only industry where AI is actually benefiting how people are performing in sales rather than replacing. Overall, I don't think it's replaceable through robots or through AI in general. So if I'm desperate for a job, whether you love it or hate it, especially if you're out of college, I'm getting into sales. I'm getting into sales. You can launch your career, follow your passions after the fact, but right now you need to collect money. You need to get into sales. That's my update.
Not having a job might be the best thing that's ever happened to Gen Z. Not only now do we not want jobs, but we can't get jobs. The job market is so bad in America right now, you might as well just do that thing that you've dreamed of doing since you were a kid. Like, what a better time to explore something completely untraditional as a career path than when you have free time, you're unemployed, and you can kind of just make your day what you want it to be. Instead of looking at the job market as a huge negative in your life, try and look at it as an opportunity to do something else that you never would have imagined. It's kind of like high risk, high reward.
Girl, please do not leave that job that you hate so much right now if you don't have something else lined up. I was making 30 plus an hour at a tech sales job, full commission, uncapped, not making $10 an hour hosting.
The job market is terrible, but here's my best advice that I can give somebody who's looking for a job right now. Number 1, stay off of these recruiting websites, LinkedIn, Indeed, What's another one? Built in. You don't want to go to those websites and think that, oh, this is the opportunity for me to find a job. I would say about 80% of those jobs are fake jobs. They're not real. They're either jobs that the companies are just posting so they can get their numbers up and say like, hey, we posted this job. We got this many applications for their statistics or whatever. I'm not too sure why they're posting fake jobs to steal your information. That's another reason. But yeah, stay off those websites. That should not be your main source to look for jobs. While I'm not saying that you can't get a job from there, what I'm saying is that it's flooded with fake jobs, fake recruiters, companies that just want to get their numbers up. It's not a good source for you to go and apply for jobs and think like, oh, this is where I'm going to get a job. So stay off those sites. Instead, what you want to do is you want to go to actual company sites. If you're applying for Amazon, you want to apply for Amazon on Amazon career site. You don't want to go to Indeed and apply for Amazon. Go to Amazon's career site and apply for there. Same thing for Home Depot. If you want to apply for Home Depot, go to Home Depot's career site. Don't go to LinkedIn to apply for Home Depot because first off, Home Depot is going to look at their career site before they look at anything else. The next, and this is probably the most important thing, your resume is not a one and all thing. Your resume needs to be tailored to each job that you apply to, not just you create one resume and you send the same resume to every single job. That's not going to work. With AI is already filtering through resumes. So you have to learn how to beat AI. Basically saying that there's a job description, there's qualifications. Your resume needs to have that job description and those qualifications on there. While I did not lie on my resume, I need you guys to understand this. Those qualifications and those job descriptions that you're applying for needs to be on your resume. Same thing with your cover letter. Let your cover letter reflect the job that you're applying for. Now, this is the second most important thing. Effort is going to produce results. I had a goal. I applied to 10 jobs every single day until I landed the career that I have now. Don't believe me? Here's my daily goals. Apply for 10 jobs. The job market sucks and companies aren't hiring like that. But if you follow these steps, you can use those to get yourself just that extra step above the other candidates. And eventually you're going to find the right job. You're going to find a job that is hiring, that is looking for people, and you're going to land an interview. When a company reaches out to you for an interview, ask all the questions. Ask what is the process of the interview? What is going to happen in the next interview? If it's a technical interview, ask what type of questions are you going to be asking me to answer? And then do your research. Look up the answers to those questions. Look up how to find those answers. If you lied on your resume, you need to be able to make sure that that lie is not a lie. Like I said, I can't speak on this because I didn't lie on my resume, but if you did, you put something that you wasn't familiar with on your resume, and that's something that the company's going to want to learn about and want you to know, you need to make sure that you're doing your research so that you know what that information is by the time that interview happens. I'm not saying this is the end all be all the information that you're going to need, but it's definitely information that's important. If you're not tailoring your resume to each job that you're applying for, you're not doing it right. Let me know if y'all want more tips and tricks. Y'all be positive. Peace.
California police departments can't get anyone to want to be a cop right now, so they are turning to hire officers who have been fired from other departments. Over 1,500 active cops in California right now have been fired before as a police officer. And it's already pretty fucking hard to fire a cop. All of those cops means that the majority of California police departments, 60%, have at least one cop who has been fired before from another department. And sure, some of these firings are because they were shitty at being a cop, but some of these firings are for sexual misconduct. This is unfortunately incredibly common across the country. Police officers who have been fired for even essaying women in the back of their patrol cars can often be rehired by other police departments or reinstated years later to the same police department. And that isn't to say that's because they were found innocent. That's just because they have an incredibly powerful union.
I saw a video the other day, and I completely agree with this. I think people should stop worrying about how the economy is doing. Like, regardless of how good or bad it is, it was good several years ago. You know, the great recession wasn't that great. The economy was pretty good in 2016, 2012, everything. Regardless of who was president, that doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter at this point. I think people need to stop putting fear when they say it's getting bad and then it's going to get worse. I think people need to stop saying that, because when they say that to an audience, and let's say like that video blows up, they are referring to everyone, and the thing is, not everyone has the same financial situation where everyone's just flat out broke or poor. It's not like some Great Depression type thing. I think like spreading that kind of news, it's good to bring awareness to how the economy is, but not to fear monger. Really, that I don't think that's the whole point or the goal, to tell people, because they'll panic. And the thing is, not a lot of people or everyone is in that situation. A lot of people are in poverty, unfortunately. They're in the middle class and then they're upper class. And it's just different brackets and all the money they have. I really think it's like no point. And it's just, half of the people will be scared, half will not be scared. I really think we should be focused on that. We should be focusing on a healthy economy. Even if the economy is not healthy, just look on the bright. There's always a bright side, regardless. It doesn't matter, like, who's in charge of the presidency. There's always an upside to this. There's always... Now, I'm not saying the president or the government's going to help us, because that's not... Well, I meant by help us, like, get rich. Like, that's never... They're never going to do that unless you win, like, the lottery or something. But my point is, we should not really be in the fear of the economy. We should be more focused on how the economy gets better over time and how your own financial situation works independently. Like, just you in general, spouse, girlfriend, family, etc. Don't include everyone else on this, because everyone has their own financial differences. I'm just putting this on my 2 cents because I saw a video of some guy, and I agree with him. I don't think you should be scaring everyone saying the economy is bad. It's going to get worse for you, everyone, me. I don't think you should do that, because that's just, you're going to scare people off, and not everyone's at the same bracket of not only paying taxes, but how much people make in salary. Everyone's different. They have second jobs, they make more. Some could just have one job. It all just depends.
I am a hiring manager in 2025. What does that mean? That means it's absolutely crazy out here how many people apply for each job that we have open at every company. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a perspective from an employer's side, what it looks like when we post a job and what kind of traffic we're getting and how we try to get through that. And I'm also going to tell you what we find most valuable when we're hiring people. So if anybody's in the job market, or you've got friends, family in the job market, or colleagues that are looking, send them this, and hopefully it's good information. First of all, for each role that we post, now we pay for Indeed and LinkedIn. There's ZipRecruiter, there's Monster, there's Career Builder, there's every other kind of career site in the world. But we pay right now for Indeed for base level candidates, and then LinkedIn for like higher level candidates. It's kind of how we use the platforms. You can find both on both platforms, but that's generally what you find. So we get between 60 and 110 applications per job per week. Now, my company right now has about 70 open positions. So think of how many positions, how many applications that is a week. It is crazy how many applications come in a week. If you want to cut through the noise, I'll give you a couple little tips before I move on to how I hire. So first of all, like most people just spray and pray. They just apply to all kinds of stuff crazy that they're not even qualified for. Those are very quickly shuffled off. If you don't have like relevant experience that matches up, we move off of it. Unless it's like entry level, and then we'll look. But most important thing is obviously first apply for jobs that are in your vertical. Second thing is that if you're in high school or college and you want to go into a particular field, work in that field, even if it's part-time, if it's internship, anything while you're in high school and college, get relevant experience. I cannot tell you guys how many people that come to me that are college graduates that think they're automatically going to get a job. Let's say they have a marketing degree and they have a 4-year marketing degree. So they come out with theory taught to them probably by somebody that has never actually ran a real marketing campaign before in their teachers. Or I've got some people that have been working marketing for the last 4 years that have ran successful campaigns, that have made money for companies, that showed that they've increased sales. And which one am I going to hire as an employer? I'm absolutely going to hire the one that already has the 4 years of marketing experience versus the one that comes out with the 4-year degree. So if you're in college, be working summers, part-time, whatever you can, get relevant experience in your field, because you come out raw. It's very difficult to hire you over somebody that already has experience. Okay. Next, is if you, are going to do your resume, you guys probably won't believe me, but about half the resumes that I see are non-functional, meaning that they aren't even formatted correctly. Like they're walls of text. It's so easy to do your resume for free in Microsoft Word and to paste it into ChatGPT and say, optimize this for the marketing manager role that I want, and hit enter. It'll spit out a completely formatted resume that you paste back into Word and then edit to your, past career objectives, and you're done. It's like a 20-minute process. It's not difficult. And the fact that we still get resumes that aren't even filled out correctly. Like, I'll give you an example. We recently hired a copywriter. So that's a person that writes for a living. They write creatively and they write copy for a living. And over half of the submissions that we had misspellings in the copywriter resumes. Think how crazy that is for us as employers. So I'm not trying to say that it's easy out there for you guys. It's tough on both sides is what I'm trying to say. So apply for relevant positions. Work, if you're high school or college, in your field any way you can to get some relevant experience. Make sure your resume is up to date, and then never apply to any job that you don't connect with somebody at the company for. Most of the times, if it's on LinkedIn, it shows the hiring manager's name in the block of the job description. You just go over, connect with that person on LinkedIn. As soon as they accept the connection request, send them a message. Hey, my name is Bob. I applied for the marketing manager job you got. I been going to school for 4 years for this, and I've been working every summer internships at the local marketing company. I'd love to have a talk with you to see if it's a fit for the job. Here's my cell. That easy, that quick. Or go Google the company. Ask to speak to HR or the head of the marketing department because you have some questions about the position. Ask some questions. Ask if you can get an interview. Make direct contact with people. Take out the middleman, guys. I'm telling you so much. The other day, I had a young man who went to my company's website, found my my public email that most heads of companies have on there, sent me a message and said, hey, I went off. I got certified on my own for this. I want to do this. I have a sales background. Can you talk to me? I called him directly. He hadn't even gone through the application process yet. I said, thank you for this. Go ahead and apply on the website. So we have your application in the system. I'm going to forward this right over to the VP in charge of this region, and we'll get you an interview set up. We don't want to have to dig through hundreds of resumes a week either, guys. We're human. So make it easy for us too. But I'll tell you, because I promised I'd put it in this video, what do we hire for? So you got some relevant things that you look at, right? You've got experience, you've got skills, you've got attitude, right? And you've got probably what you would perceive as ability, really, when you're interviewing somebody. I will tell you, out of all of these, I hire primarily for attitude first. If somebody says, I've got 20 years of experience, they might have the wrong kind of experience. They might have experience that I'm going to have to spend weeks, months, years having to untrain them for how they think this is the only way to do this because I did this at my other company for 20 years. That can be more of a pain in the butt for me as an employer than somebody that's fresh off the street. So somebody that's willing to learn, willing to listen, willing to jump in and just do whatever they have to get it done is the most valuable person to me as an employer. And so I'll tell you guys that attitude is first, followed by skills. Okay? Followed by skills, because if they have some skill in it already or they've done the job in the past, it can show what they can do. Followed by ability, meaning that you think they just have like a naturally good sense of things. They have aptitude. You can talk to them, it clicks, you're connected, you're good. Last, experience. Final, education. Because education right now doesn't mean anything unless they have some experience in the field too. So I will tell you guys that right now we are looking for attitude when we hire people. I know it's a really tough market out there. I know jobs are hard to come by. But I will tell you, you will cut down your job seeking time dramatically if you stop spam applying to things that you don't fit to and start to apply for things, but never apply for anything that you don't also connect to somebody at the company with. Should be a one-to-one. I applied, and now I'm trying to connect with some person in phone, email, call. Remember, phone first. Why are you going to send an email? It's another thing that gets too ignored when you get a real human person on the phone if you can. If you can't get on the phone, then do email, then do DM, whatever you have to do, but connect first. Let me know if you guys have any questions. That's how we look at the market right now. It's attitude first. Let me know what you guys are seeing in the job market in 2025.
Thank you for watching Great Minds Blacks.